All right. Thank you so much for coming out on a Tuesday, live people in the flesh. We're alive. We're out of the house. It's the 22nd Boston Comedy Festival, and I feel like comedy is back, and I thank all of you for making that possible. We really, really appreciate it. So we got a great show tonight. A couple little rules. This is really important to these people that are on the show, that you don't talk in the audience and you keep your phones off, and you know, if you want to talk, leave. I guess that would be the way to handle that. And then what else? That's it. Oh, I want to thank our sponsors. We could not do it without Garden Remedies Cannabis. How great is that? We recommend you go and see them if you come back for a show later in the week, like the semifinals right here on Friday, or if you go to the Somerville Theater, we have the finals, and we have Mr. Billy West, who, if you'd like any kind of thing, Ren and Stimpy, or Futurama, or any of that stuff, Billy West is the voice guy that does that, and also Orny Adams are getting awards, and the 8 top people out of these already great people that beat people out to get here are going to be there, okay? So enough of the sales pitch. I'm going to bring up our host, if that's okay with you. Okay. This is one of my favorite acts in the world. He always gets this credit. He was the umbrella guy in Seinfeld, and he was on Ghostbusters movie, and he was on his own show he was doing on Showtime. And he literally, I don't have to say anything more because you're going to see once you see him, like, wow, this guy's really funny. How can they afford him? All right, so give a big round of applause and all your love for Mr. Tony V. Let him know.
This one's yours. That's mine? All right, great. I don't want to break anything right off the bat. Hello, everybody. How are you? You look scared right now. Are you all right? I belong here. It's fine. I'm Tony V, the aforementioned. If you're waiting for another one, can't help you. I'm all we got. It's nice to be here in a basement in Somerville. It seems like the end of a dream. Kind of where you're right in the middle of a good dream and then someone throws water on you. It's that kind of a dream. You're all masked up. Is that a rule? I don't have to be because I'm up here. I'm better than you. I don't have to. But remember we had that week in May where they said we were fine? Back in May, they went, oh, yeah, hey, we went over the numbers, and everything's coming back. You're all fine. And then we went out. And they went, geez, we rethought that. We saw you all, and you should go back in your homes and just stay there. And we did. But there was that whole week where people came out, and we were so happy, and I didn't know what was coming back because we'd been sequestered for so long, right? We'd been elbowing people and keeping our distance. I didn't even know, like, if the tried and true handshake was coming back. Because it was contact stuff, and that week, first guy I saw put out his hand to shake it, and he could see it in my face. I didn't want to, but I did. I buckled the pressure, and I went to shake his hand, and I wish I didn't. It was sort of wet and kind of clammy and warm. And I went, I just should have fisted you. And I said immediately, I probably could have worded that a little bit differently, but we're so far down the rabbit hole and we're only out for a week. Let's get at it. I had a good pandemic. How was yours? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. You learn a lot about yourself. Like you can be with yourself too long. You know, I don't like me. I need to reflect off of others for my self-worth, because I just walk around my house. You know what I missed? Traffic. I really did. At one point I said, I haven't given anyone the finger in about 6 months. So I just started flipping off my wife in the house just to keep in practice. Come on, pick a lane. I got to get to the living room. Let's go, move it. And it worked out pretty well. And then I am old enough. I skew younger than I am because I'm immature. But I am old enough. I actually got to shop during old people hours. Yeah, and you know what my takeaway is? I could beat the shit out of most other old people. Please don't get the wrong impression. I'm not saying I'm going to Trader Joe's at the crack of dawn looking for a beef. I'm just saying, if there are 2 avocados left, and it comes down to me and a retired librarian, I'm having guacamole that night. That's all I know. It's eye-opening. I watched a 80-something-year-old woman look at milk for 20 minutes. You ever see old people do that? Just staring at milk, picking up every carton. I go, ma'am, you know what kind of milk you drink. You're 85. If you don't, you shouldn't be out. I go, plus you don't have a lot of time left. You got to get that home. That's going to be cheese before you get it there. Let's move it along. I go, you know what the ingredients of milk is? Milk. You're not going to find anything in there. You know? And then I am also of the generation. I had to get tested. I did a job recently where I needed to get tested, and it's all changed. I don't know if anyone's been tested recently. You just go to CVS, and they throw a bunch of shit in your car. You stuff it on your face, throw it back at them, and buy some mouthwash and go about your day. First time I went, I go, right? And there's a person all gowned up, head to toe, booties on, welding equipment, plexiglass, 2 rubber gloves coming through holes in it. Didn't even want to be in the same hemisphere as me. You know, I couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman, nor does it matter. I'm very woke. I know I don't look like one to be woke, but I am extremely woke. I was happy not being woke, by the way, but my wife and children woke me, and now there's no putting the bear back. Yeah, so I will try throughout the evening to stay woke, and which is hard as you get age. And but I remember, right? She's standing there, they are standing there. You know what, I'm going to interrupt myself. You know what I think we need for old white guys like me is, you ever see a baseball game where the catcher has like a wristband with all the signals and signs on it? I think we need that for social interactions for us. You know what I mean? You just walk up to somebody and you go, pronouns? Huh? How are we? See? No one gets hurt that way. It's all good. And not the point of my story. I go to get tested this first time way back when, and they're standing there. She got like a pool cue with a toilet brush at the end of it. And she says, look, this is going to be a little uncomfortable. I'm going to stick this pretty far up your nose, probably farther than you've ever had anything up there. And I go, oh, no. I lived through the 80s. You'd be amazed at what's been up there. You're in danger of losing that brush. And I couldn't see him laugh, but the arms went like this. Like, that's a good crowd right there. Not so fortunate when I got vaccinated, and I am doubly vaxxed. I am also of that generation. I have friends who won't, but I am doubly vaxxed and happy about it. And I don't care. I'm not here to preach. You do what you want. If you're not vaxxed, just stay the fuck away from me. And that person, apparently, as well. You're gonna have now a moat around you. But, you know, I have friends of my generation who won't get fat. You know, that I'm not taking that. The government can't tell me what to put in my body. I won't have it. I go, dude, I've known you for 50 years. I know what you've put in your body. And this is where you draw the line? I've helped you put shit in there. Your liver could be used as the cornerstone for the Museum of Bad Decisions. And now at a temple? I don't think so. And you all got a friend who knows everything? I do. I had a buddy come up to me, he goes, you know, I was talking to our friend Eddie about the vaccine. I go, yeah? And he said, I go, okay, let me stop you there. Let's not listen to the greatest scientific minds of all time that have been working on this for a year and a half. Let's listen to our friend Eddie, a guy who we once saw take a shot of his own urine just to get a free drink at Applebee's. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's dialed in on this. I was mentioned my wife. I was sequestered with her. It was just I have adult children, and we were. My wife's one of those people who I think there's somebody in every relationship like this. They got to know what the other one's doing all the time. Like I was walking through the kitchen, and my wife goes, "Where you going?" Upstairs. What are you gonna do up there? I don't know. I'm not up there yet. I was thinking about taking a shower. So is you going to take a shower now? I don't know. I'm not upstairs. And I was doing that joke, the beginning of that joke, at a golf course not too long ago, at a country club. And there was a drunk woman right down front. And she goes, you know, you could have stopped that whole thing. You could have solved that whole situation by just asking your wife to get in the shower with you. And I go, I think you missed the part where I said I've been married for 30 years. If I ever asked my wife to get in the shower with me now, she'd go, why? Something you can't reach anymore? And I'm not like that. My wife could be like dragging a tarp with a body in it through the living room. And I'd go, you need a hand with that? No? Okay, I'll watch the game. That's just the way it is. But she decided, this is the whole point of that story. That wasn't the point of it. I only told you that so I could tell you this. She decided I should become a reader, and I'm not. I don't see that starting up. I've gotten this far. I mean, I can read. I know words. You know, like I know how to use shampoo and whatnot by reading the back of it, you know. But she thought, she goes, you don't enjoy reading. I go, no, not as a pastime. You know, I got other hobbies. I got hair to trim, poker to play on my phone. I got things to do. And she goes, you know, maybe if you read the classics, like you were supposed to in high school, you'd get a reappreciation for reading. She goes, why don't you read Moby Dick? I go, you mean the white whale where the guy gets stuck to it with the ropes and then dies at the end? She goes, yeah. I go, why would I read it? I already know what happens. And I tried reading it. Has anyone read Moby Dick? Yeah. It's awful. Maybe in 1860 that shit cut it, but not now. I read 8 pages. I go, the dude just walked out of one building and went in another. 8 pages. We get out to sea, I am screwed. I'm going to die of boredom. But it did pique my interest in whales. Yeah, I have this love of whale stories now that I didn't have before. And I was doing my research on YouTube, because that's where you get all the good information now on the young people. I don't know what it is, by the way, with YouTube and young people, but you can't get enough shit in a waffle iron all of a sudden. Every video I see is somebody cooking something in a waffle iron, telling me how easy it is. And it takes them 20 minutes to tell me that it takes 2 minutes to cook shit in a waffle iron. I don't know. I watched this guy, my kids turned me on to this. I watched a guy put 4 eggs in a waffle iron. That's all he did. He put 4 eggs in a waffle iron and stared at it like he was the Einstein of eggs. Said nothing. 3.5 minutes of nothing. And at the end he goes, you're never going to look at eggs the same way again. I go, of course not. They're going to be all bumpy. You know, and so what if it does work? I now, after all these years, I go, I've been cooking eggs wrong for fucking 60 years. You know? So I see, I'm amazed by this, and I look, 5.5 million people had viewed this. I don't think you caught the weight of that. 5.5 million people. And 2.5 million people shared it. Like they watched this and went, oh, I got to tell somebody else about this. This guy's dialed in on the eggs in the waffle iron. So that gets me to my whale story, right? I see this thing on YouTube. There was a woman-looking person got swallowed by a whale. Did anyone see this? Yeah, two people, couple. I don't know if they're a couple. Two separate kayaking, which you would assume. And they're kayaking, right? And having a nice day. And the guy's getting it all on the phone because it doesn't count if it's not videoed now. Like no one would believe you went kayaking if you didn't have a video of it. Like she'd go, I went kayaking. They'd go, prove it. So anyway, they're kayaking happily, and a whale breaches, comes up, opens its yap, and I don't know how the whale identifies. It's a mammal, it gets to pick. I don't care. It's not my business. Anyway, takes the woman look. I'm just saying, and I keep saying woman looking person. I'm just saying, if there was a lineup and they said pick out the woman looking one, I'd go that one. That's all. So the whale, still not the point of my story. Whale opens its mouth, takes the kayak and all in. I don't know how far she got. I don't have a lot of measurement for whale swallowings. I don't know if she got, Jonah level or Pinocchio level, which are really the only two measurements I know for whale swallowings. Now, I guess we have to add a third kayak woman-looking person. Anyway, goes into the whale's mouth. The whale decides, I don't like this. I hate this. This isn't krill, not shrimp. I hate it. Blah. Spits her out. Whole. Kayak and all. She continues to kayak like nothing happened. Like it was a speed bump in her day. Right? Now, I don't know. Could have been her first day kayaking. And she thought this was part of it. You know what I mean? Like a friend of hers 2 weeks from then is going to go, hey, I'm going kayaking for the first time. And she'll go, oh, you're going to love the part where you get swallowed by a whale. Still not the point of my story. I look, 497,000 people viewed this. 1/10 the number of people who watched a guy put 4 fucking eggs in a waffle iron. 67,000 people gave it a thumbs down, like they had seen better whale swallowings and could somehow comment on it. Like they looked at this miracle and went, I don't know. I'm not buying it. Now, if she could have put an egg in the blowhole of that whale, now we got something. Which gets me to my next whale swallowing story. You didn't think there was going to be two. Neither did I. There's been a rash of whale swallowings. There was a guy over the summer named Mike Packard. You remember this? Yeah, he's diving for lobsters off of P-Town, down 30 feet. Yeah, diving for lobsters. And he gets, again, swallowed. He goes into the mouth of a whale, right? Now, I got a couple things to say about this. A much easier way to get lobsters. They're like $7.99 a pound in any store that sells lobsters. Second, I don't know how focused you got to be on hunting for lobsters to have something about the size of a school bus sneak up on you. Like you wouldn't be, what's that shadow? Probably nothing. Anyway, he gets taken into the mouth of a whale. Spits him out. His story is amazing. Does anyone know this? Real guy, Mike Packard. Yeah. He has been struck by lightning. Yes, twice. Twice. Was in a plane crash. 3 other people died in. Walked away. Wandered around in the rainforest for 5 days and walked out unscathed with no provisions. Pretty amazing. My first point to you is this. If you ever meet this guy, stay the fuck away from him. Because I don't know how your day is going to end, but he's going to be just fine. Second, I don't know who's in charge of getting bodies into the next life, but not doing a good job. And getting chewed out by God somewhere, sitting on his throne going, dude, I asked you to get one guy. Is that so hard? I've been looking for this Mike Packard for like 10 years. You couldn't get him? Geez, boss, I did everything I could. I struck him with lightning. I put him in a plane crash. I went biblical on his ass. I don't know what else I could have done. All right. Well, you guys seem sufficiently warmed, I'm guessing. I don't know that for a fact, but I would think so. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but please give your attention. You seem like a nice crowd. I don't know you individually, but as a crowd, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Staring at us and giggling. We can't ask for much more than that. I'll be the host all night long. I will tell you, I know some of you are here to see certain individuals. I am not allowed to tell you if I know anybody or what their credits are. They'll just come up as a number because I can't show any prejudice. So just assume that everyone's a good friend of mine and they're really funny. All right? Right. So let's start that off, and I'll put on my old man reading glasses so I don't do anyone a disservice. And if you have any questions, save them for me because these people don't know anything. So our first person coming to the stage, a good friend of mine and really funny. Would you please welcome Bryan McKenna? Give him a nice round of applause.
Guys, keep it going for Tony, man. Let him hear it. Really hope Tony wins this one tonight. It's good to be here, man. It's nice to be. I'm newly engaged, man. Newly engaged, which is nice. Yes, thank you. Yes. Well, actually, let me clarify. I got engaged March 10th, 2020. 6 days before the lockdown, man. It was like we told the world, we're in love. And the world was like, we'll see. We'll see about that. Keep being cocky there, Dick. We'll see. My fiance, she's Canadian. She's Canadian, so the first time we went out, I didn't totally understand her. The first time we went out, she was like, look, I'm on a visa. And I was like, look, I'll pay cash. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, I have a MasterCard. That's priceless, too. I don't know. She let me know up front, though. She let me know very much up front. She's like, look, I need a green card. Let me tell you something. When you propose to somebody who needs a green card, it's way easier. Because, like, I kind of knew the answer. You know what I mean? Like when she said yes in my head, I was like, yeah, like you had a fucking choice. It was either that or get deported by Homeland Security. I would think I'm better. This has been an interesting year, man. This whole, the pandemic, we went through a lot of phases of the pandemic, you know. My favorite phase of this pandemic was when we all started telling each other what flavor vaccine we had. Right? And it was always the same stupid conversation. You're like, hey, man, what'd you get? Ooh, Pfizer? Ooh, Pfizer. I didn't know you were rich, Christine. All right, look at you. Then it was like, hey, man, what'd you get? Oh, Moderna. You dirty bitch, Moderna. Okay. And it was like, hey, man, what'd you get? Johnson & Johnson? Ooh, you'll be dead by Wednesday. Good luck with your 60% efficiency. On a side note, Johnson & Johnson, they were a little cocky with that 60% efficiency, weren't they? Because, like, when I was in school, if you got a 60 on a test, like, you didn't fucking tell anybody about it. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't like, you should study with me. I really know what's going on. I'm like, no, you're a moron. That's what you are. You're a moron. I'm like, go cheat off Pfizer and Moderna. And don't roll out your D- vaccine at me, Johnson & Johnson. I got a buddy, my friend Matt did not want to get the vaccine. And he was very adamant about it, which is fine. I don't really care. But it was his reasoning behind it, which was a little strange to me. Because he was like, look, I feel like the government is trying to track me. And I had to be like, hey, Matt, you're a fucking loser. I'm like, you're 38 years old, you work at Home Depot. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think if they were going to track anyone, they would track, like, the manager of Home Depot. Not the part-time employee who steals lumber on the weekends and makes skateboard ramps. Like, I think you're fine. COVID's here forever, though, man. People don't get it. They're like, it's going to be over. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I think COVID is nature's revenge on human beings for vaping. Yeah, by the way, if you vape, everybody hates you, okay? Your friends hate you, your family hates you, and I hate you the most. Do you remember when people used to just smoke cigarettes? That was the best. I love cigarette smokers. They were so polite, right? Every one of them polite. They'd always excuse themselves. Excuse me, I'm going to go outside and go kill myself. That's what I'm going to go do. And they would stand outside with their yellow teeth, you know what I mean, all huddled together. I don't know what's wrong with me. Do you have a lighter? I don't have a lighter. I love those people. Vapors, not so much. Vapors are not polite people, right? Vapors usually come into a conversation smoking something bigger than this, right? And they never tell you they're about to start vaping, right? They just have a conversation. They're like, yeah, so I've been working from home a lot. It's like, dude, we're in church. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to us? Now it smells like chocolate pudding in this place. Why would you do that? All right, you guys have been amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the show.
We have to wear our masks backstage. Still me. I didn't want to confuse you right off the bat. All right, now that guy was funny and a good friend of mine. You're not going to believe this. Next person, really funny. Equally a good friend of mine. Please welcome Katlin McFee. Give her a nice round of applause.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I've been living here in Boston for about 3 years. Absolutely love it. But I grew up in Kentucky. I'm sure you can just look at this haircut and figure out why I left, right? No mystery there, yeah. Don't need Scooby and the Dick Gang for that one, right? Yeah, you don't thrive in Kentucky when you look like you're playing in the lesbian reboot of The Sandlot. You know what I mean? It's just not exactly my place. I grew up in small town Kentucky on a farm, and I've looked like a gay little boy since the first day of my life, okay? Like I was a twin. It was me and a softball, okay? And my family, they just look like a normal Kentucky farm family, like wears camo to church type of shit, you know? So our family pictures from when I was a kid look so weird. Like those pictures look like my actual family like sent me to that farm to turn me straight. People in my hometown have no clue how to talk to me at all. Like I was there one time and someone asked me if I was related to Ellen. I was like, that's not how it works. And I grew up Catholic, so on top of being a little gay in a little town, and on top of that, I have a lung disease called cystic fibrosis, right? Yes. So the Catholic church that I went to when I was a kid, they had no clue what to do with me. They were like, dear God, this kid has a severe illness and cystic fibrosis. Like, I'm gonna need so much prayer for this one. Let's, get out that smoky ball on the chain. Let's get it going around her. Smoke out that demon. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm like a child, and I'm like, I'm not trying to question God, but I feel like I'm coughing more, and I definitely still have a crush on my basketball coach. So I don't think it's working. You know what I mean? I was recently dating this girl for a very, very long time, and then we broke up. So I decided to switch it up, and for the first time in like 2.5 years, I slept with a man. It's pretty wild for me. Like, it had been so long that when he pulled his dick out, I was like, oh, vintage. Nice. This is nice. Yeah, I've been using plastic for a long time. So I bet this is much better on the environment. Good for you. He loves the earth. What a good guy. It was great. It's like pulling out the N64. I loved it. It was great. Yeah, I'm bisexual. Everyone's always surprised by that. But when I say bisexual, though, I mean like 80-20, okay? So like 80% women, right? And then 20% me being sad at bars. Because dick for me is like fast food, all right? Like if I'm like drunk at 2 a.m. and I'm super hungry, yeah, okay, I'll have it. It's just the easiest thing to get that late at night, you know? It's practically all that's open, actually. Why are men so easy? Why? Like, I live in Boston, and I get all the dick I want, and I look like this. I'm playing on hard mode. It shouldn't be that easy. Like, I had a man tell me I sound like Timmy Turner from the Fairly Odd Parents. And he still slept with me. I had another man tell me I look like Elliot from E.T. But to be fair, he looked like E.T., so I think we might get married really soon. We are a really good match, actually. I dated a man one time, and it was super weird for everyone. It was like we would go into public, and people would say like really weird shit. Like me and this guy went to a bagel shop one time, and there was this older woman working at the bagel shop who kept calling me young man, which is like so fair, actually. That's okay. I get that. But then she asked if my ex-boyfriend was my brother, and he's black, so. I was like, oh, you know what? This woman is a hero. She is. She's a hero. Because this woman truly does not see race. She does not see gender. Like, she might not see at all. She might be super fucking blind. I mean, I didn't get the right bagel, so. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, see, we just had that little awkward moment. Keep that going for Katlin. That was very good. I am so happy that she's a friend of mine and that funny. This next person, you're not going to believe it. Yes, a friend of mine and super funny. Please welcome Mary Jane French. Give her a nice round of applause. Yes, do that.
Hello, everyone. Not to brag, but I am a transgender, pansexual, polyamorous person because it is easier to collect identities than it is to cultivate a personality. Now, I am contractually obligated to mention polyamory every time I perform because it is a pyramid scheme. So like a few years ago, I was roped into it. And now I need to rope like 7 more people into it. And they each need to rope like 7 more people into it. But you know what? I stuck with the process, and now I am a homeowner. And you can do it too. Just talk to me after the show. I have a starter kit for you. If you break the seal, you do owe me $50. When you are polyamorous, people in your life really like to point out when they think you have a type. And if you don't like being told that you have a type, it's really hard to argue because the proof is in your pussy. And so, like, I stand by the fact that there's not just like a narrow section of humanity that I'm attracted to. It's just that there's only a narrow section of humanity that's attracted to me right now. Like, personally, I'm attracted to all sorts of folks, including, but not limited to, sapphic lumberjacks, rockabilly faggots, and of course, and especially, lesbians who first felt themselves represented in media after watching Terminator 2 and realizing, oh, I'm John Connor. But no, there was a period of time where I managed to have 2 boyfriends, which was weird for me personally, because I spent years building my brand as a queer lady. But then it was accurate to say that I had 2 boyfriends, and I was never sure what to do with that, except now that it's over, I deeply miss being able to lord it over straight women. For 2 years of my life, every argument that I got into with a straight woman would just immediately devolve into me just being like, listen, Claire, I think I know what I'm talking about. I have twice as many boyfriends as you. It's a credential. And like, both of my boyfriends, both of them were transgender. Both of them took testosterone. And in neither case did that stop them from getting their period, which is rare, thank you for asking. But just to put a little blood red cherry on top, they came pre-synchronized. So yeah, maybe I had a type, Boston. That type being the beginning of the month. Because of course I tracked my boyfriend's periods. Who wouldn't? It's a safety concern. I was tracking them ever since I was going down on one of them and it started. I know, I was so embarrassed. I mean, talk about egg on my face. I am glad to be vaccinated, able to be in public again, because I do still have one of the boyfriends, and I love being able to be in public with him as a trans woman dating a trans man, because I missed seeing other people seeing us, because their facial expressions all read as like, I am pretty sure this is gay, but I'm not sure how. Like, is it two men? Is it two women? If it's one of each, which is which? Like, I know that if I broke them down into their element, I could build a straight couple. But that doesn't seem to be what's going on here. And they're right, because, like, I'm pansexual, he's bisexual. I know what you're thinking. How will you raise the kids? And at this point, the answer is honestly, neither of us have reproductive organs. A few years ago, I did get a vagina installed on my person, and when they gutted and renovated the whole thing, they got rid of the reproductive parts and left me with just the fun parts, which of course is my tagline now for my new genitals, just the fun parts. So you know, it's mostly pubes. I really shouldn't say my new genitals. I did get my vagina put in about 5 years ago, so I should really be saying that that is my tagline for my gently used genitals. But then I don't want y'all thinking that I'm having vanilla sex. Like, what I really want to be saying up here is that is my tagline for my vigorously used and completely ruined genitals. But then I have like some OCD-like tendencies, like that's not accurate. I take good care of it. Still has that new pussy smell. Anywho, that's my time. Thank you all very much. I've been Mary Jane Friend.
Nicely done. That was Mary Jane. Give her a nice round of applause. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. I'm exhausted just listening to that. How to keep it all straight. Which I guess is the wrong word. Anyway, our next person coming to the stage, strangely, good friend of mine. Yes, and also very funny. Please welcome Karl Xie. Give him a nice round of applause.
What's up, guys? Hey, I'm Karl. I'm from China. I went to BU for grad school. Yeah, that's the rich white people right there. After the show, please don't tell me that your cousin teaches English in Japan. I don't know him. I don't care. It's good to be here. I mean, I love this theater because I've been doing some outdoor shows. Man, let me put it this way. Have you ever been heckled by God? Like you say stuff like, gay people are great, you just hear, then it starts pouring, raining, you're like, get in the ark, he's angry. A little biblical joke for you. I've lived in this country for about 9 years. 9 years, and I noticed something that black parents are very similar to Chinese parents. By that, I mean they beat their kids. Yeah, I once heard a white lady say, oh, I wish I could hire someone to beat up my boys. I was like, do it yourself. Don't you have to turn BYOB? Beat your own boy. My mom would beat me with the stick I practiced martial art with. She's like, what did I told you? Was that too harsh for you guys? Every time I tell that joke, black people laughing, white people like, that's illegal. She's going to jail. Oh, no, man. My parents wanted me to go back to China, but I can't, because I need the freedom of speech to tell my pussy jokes. That's what I learned English for. To tell pussy jokes. No, man, by the way, English is hard. I've been learning English for 16 years. 16 years. And I still can't spell the word Wednesday. Ain't that a bitch? I can spell pussy backward. YSSUP. No, man. I got hurt. Also, like words with different meanings are confusing. Like to me, the word drug means weed, cocaine, heroin, things like that. I didn't know it also means medicine. So the first time my colleague Drew me said, let's go to a drugstore, I was excited. I was imagining a dark, small room in the back of a bar, and I'm thinking, America. And it turned out to be a CVS. Very disappointed. I used to listen to rap music to learn English. Okay, I'll take that. No, I loved it. But when rappers sing about drugs and gangster stuff, I can't relate to them, you know. Until 21 Savage got arrested for expired visa, I'm like, now I can relate. Before that, I couldn't. You know, when he sings about how many people you shot, a lot. It's like, I don't know. How many times you got shot, a lot. It's like, I wish you could sing how many visas you got. I'd be like, a lot. Oh, man. Good news, Michelle Wu is finally the mayor of Boston. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. We needed this to work. We needed it. Because Asian community, we had a bad year. Oh yeah, COVID has made us feel like black people in the 50s. Motherfuckers just beat us in the streets. Asian ladies can't even do groceries without their white husband. Oh man. See, it's hard living in this country because you guys have a lot of stereotype on us. Like, oh, Chinese people eat dogs and cats. Let me clarify. No cats. See, we eat crazy stuff because we're always short for food and resource. Like, we never had milk. We had soy milk. We made milk out of soy. You know what? We made soy sauce out of soy. And we made tofu out of soy. You didn't expect to learn shit from comedy, did you? Can you imagine how fucking creative we have to be just to survive, just looking at the soybeans and go, I want something different. Tired of this shit. And y'all were blaming us for eating bats and shit. Listen, if you've been eating nothing but soybeans for 10 years, you see a bat, you'd be like, I wonder how that tastes. I'm having wings tonight. All right, that's my time. Thank you, guys.
Nice job. That was Karl Xie. That's who that was. Yeah. We're having a little trouble with the, we still don't know. People like that. You don't seem to care. It's traumatic for me. I go like this, and then you go, just bring up the next guy. All right, I will. This guy that I'm coming to the stage, and he identifies that way, is more than a casual acquaintance of mine. I would dare say he's a friend. See how I snuck that in on you? You weren't expecting it. And he's also very funny. Please welcome Gary Peterson. Give him a nice round of applause.
Tony V, everybody! Tony fucking V!
He's so funny. Oh. I look like a guy that was disinvited from the Capitol riots for creating too many group texts. I don't know if that comes across immediately in all of your heads. Think we should brunch first, fellas? I was out with this girl. She's still alive. I was out with this girl. She's like, I don't date guys with kids. I was like, good. I live with my dad. Do you date kids with guys? 'Cause that's how this works, my lady. My grandparents are in the basement. Thank you. It's a real puss palace at the Peterson place. I can't wait to have a beautiful evening with someone special, say all the right things, get to the end of the night and have this conversation. Oh my God, yeah, I know they're closing, but I had a really good time. Yeah, I don't want it to end. Do you want to come meet 5 generations of my family? We all sleep in the same bed. Now, I was living with my dad yesterday, and still today. And he wrote me a note. This is the greatest note of all time. He said, if you turn the heat down before you go to bed, bed spelled B-E-A-D. Before you go to bed, turn it back up again so I don't wake up to a cold house. Then he wrote thanks, but crossed it out. Yeah. Wouldn't have hurt my feelings as much, but it was in pencil. Like, could have erased it. He's like, I want him to know. I was in a band. I did, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. I was in the Weymouth Wildcat marching band, and you heard of us. And the sex, I was trying to dry hump the clarinet section. The drugs, Claritin D, because I'm allergic to the Earth's atmosphere. You ever want to feel like you don't belong on your home planet? Just take a breath in and have your body go, I don't think you should be here. I was in the marching band. I play bass drum, which is the instrument they give stupid children, because it's the same size as them. They just got to not miss. An old double astigmatism. I missed all the time. Like, give us a thud, Gary. Click! One thud. Click, clack! Aim for the center. Clickety, clack, click! Crab walk. Crab walk. Now, when I was in the marching band, this is true. I'm going to take you to the darkness. I'll bring you to the light in the end. Trust me. When I was in the marching band, 9/11 happened, and my school dealt with it really well. They came on the loudspeaker, and they said, oh, go home. That was the way they dealt with it. And I went home. I didn't get a call from my mother and my father and my sister. I got a call from my band director who said, we're going to have practice today. And I was like, I'm not going to go. I'm not doing that. He's like, well, if you're not coming to marching band, then I guess I'll just tell you here that we're going to move you over to crash cymbals. All the pussy from bass drum. Just gone. Goodbye, girls. Goodbye, friends. Out of spite, I didn't learn any music. And we had our first home game 2 days later. We had to play the National Anthem. And I don't know if you guys know the National Anthem. The crash cymbals are a pretty big part. And they aren't the type of instrument you can jazz improvise on. So I want to perform for you for my final piece, our national anthem that we played on that day with me on cymbals. Na 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 dun 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 disco remix ten 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 boom. When you hit the cymbals at an exact right angle, it forms an air pocket, which is impossible for a 9th grader to separate. Dun, 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 dun. No! Dun, 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 dun. America! Dun, 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 dun. Fuck! Dun, 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 dun. Boom, lost one, down to one. Dun, smash it off a snare drum nearby. Dun, 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 dun. Breaks in half, public school. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Do you know how hard it is to get booed playing the national anthem 2 days after 9/11? It's the greatest night of my life next to this. Thank you very much.
Gary Peterson, everybody. Gary Peterson. Wasn't that? That was great. Told you he was funny. Oh, this next person, unbelievably enough. Well, she's funny first, and then she's a dear friend of mine. Yes, please welcome Isabel Levin. Give her a nice round of applause. Yes, indeed.
A little while ago, I was committed to a psych ward for anorexia. Not to brag. At check-in, they took my dental floss because they were afraid I would hang myself with it. I was flattered they thought I was that thin. They took my dental floss, my shoelaces, the drawstring in my sweatpants, the underwire in my bra. I was like, what kind of sad engineer do you think I am? Like, I want people to find me and be like, she's dead, but how innovative. At intake, they gave me a name tag for my name and favorite band. That is not the information I needed about the other patients. On my first day, I watched a man take a shit in a potted plant. At no point did I wonder if he also liked salt and pepper. The name tag they should have given us was name and what the fuck is wrong with you. In fact, that's a name tag everyone should wear all the time. It'd be like, Keith, I have intimacy issues. Or Brian, I think Adam Sandler's talented. People say the psych ward is for crazy people, but that's not fair. It's for crazy people with insurance. It's insane to me that they put people with all different mental health issues in the same psych ward. That'd be like putting all the animals in the zoo in the same enclosure and being like, let's see what happens. Maybe the zebra will like the schizophrenic. Anorexia is a great disease to have when the world is terrible. During COVID, my friends were like, there are millions of people dying of this very painful disease. And I was like, I wonder how many calories are in cheesecake. And then they were like, the water levels are rising. New York is gonna be underwater in 30 years. And I was like, I think I know how many calories are in cheesecake. A few years back, Abercrombie got in trouble for making anorexia size pants. But I thought that was great representation. I felt so seen. I think Abercrombie should make pants for every disease. Like IBS pants that are just assless chaps. Or diabetes pants that are zip-offs, but just one leg. If you groaned at that, I'm about to talk about the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is for children only, not adults. Because we all know adults wouldn't just want a picture with Dua Lipa. And Dua Lipa would have to be the bad guy when she didn't let the poor dying man suck her toes. Another popular celebrity for wishes is John Cena. John Cena has granted 650 wishes. There's no way 650 kids' first choice was John Cena. He must be the organization's backup wish. Like a little girl's like, I want to be a princess for the day, and the organization's like, no can do, here's John. He's a really good wrestler. I wonder if kids know they're terminally ill before the organization gets involved. Like, I wonder if the Make-A-Wish Foundation is like, what do you want more than anything in the world? And the kid's like, why do you ask? A few years back, a little boy asked to cook with Ina Garten as his dying wish, which is the best coming out story I've ever heard. I think a lot of kids are selfish with their wishes. They get offered anything in the world, and most are like, I want to go to Disneyland. How about peace in the Middle East? And if the organization really can't get Israel and Palestine to get along, they could be like, here's John Cena. Thank you.
Very nice. Very good. That was good, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Isabel Levin. Yeah, very, very different. Nice. All right. You guys are going to be hard pressed to understand the feeling I have for the next person coming to the stage. So much so, I call them a good friend of mine. Also very funny. Please welcome Janelle Draper. Give her a nice round of applause.
Oh, good friend. Boston, what's up? So great to be here. I'm from here originally. My mom's 50% Italian. Dad's 50% Irish, which makes them 100% divorced. I'm not fully over it, so I'll do this thing. Grab my mom's phone at 2 a.m. and text my dad, hey, you up? My stepdad hates that I do that. I hate that he married my mom. So suck it, rebound dad. When I'm not blowing up my parents' love life, I am blowing up my own, and I'm single. I'm actually loving it, though. It's better this way, because I've always been terrible at picking men to be in long-term relationships with. Like my last guy I went out with, met him in a loud nightclub. Fell for him because he liked cooking. Turns out he said cocaine. Or was he snorting cocaine while cooking? Either way, once he made me dinner in 6 minutes. It's hard dating as a female comedian because guys will act like it's so scary. They're like, I'm afraid you're going to put me in your act. Really? I'm afraid you're going to put me in your trunk. Rather be a punchline than be punched. That's just a sad one, okay? Felt like that hit close to home for you. Oh, God, I don't know. Yeah, it's fun to be newly single. I just kind of want to, like, let loose, go out, experiment. I don't know, maybe kiss a couple girls. But yeah, all right, see you after the show. But none of my friends can hang. They're all wifed up now, you know? My friend Sarah's like, Janelle, I can't go out. I have to breastfeed my baby. My husband's in a mood. I'm like, just come out. I'll suck your tit and fuck your husband. I'm a good time. I'm not even drunk yet, so. Married people don't remember what it's like to be single. I had a friend who's like, yes, right? It's crazy. Well, we gotta talk after the show. Like, my friend, she was like, I had a friend who was like, Janelle, what's taking you so long? Like, I met Ben when I was 26, and he was Mr. Right. I was like, he was Mr. Right next to you at work. You're lazy, Sheila. It's not some grand accomplishment to get married. Anyone can get married, even first cousins. And then she was like, well, then why aren't you married? And after I cried a little, I was like, because my cousin said no. Ugh, I've been learning to stand up for myself. It's hard because I have scoliosis. Guess I shouldn't have prayed for curves. My backbone's basically a question mark, so it's amazing I didn't choose a career in politics. I can never work in politics because I like to occasionally smoke pot, but only when I'm anxious, so every day. And I had an edible with my grandpa last week. That was traumatic. I am never doing that again unless we find him. Then we're going to try shrooms. So happy to be able to spend time with my grandparents again, thanks to the vaccine. I was pumped to get vaccinated. First time ever, I got 2 free shots and someone didn't ask me for a blowjob. Which was a relief. It would have been so hard with my mask on. Yeah, oh man, I have an older sister. She's a doctor, which is impressive, but it makes her such a know-it-all. I'm like, Ash, just because you're paid for your opinions doesn't mean I have to take them. And she's like, Janelle, it's not an opinion. You have chlamydia. I'm like, well, do you want me to start using condoms or do you want a nephew? Yeah, so my sister's my gynecologist. People think it's weird. I'm like, is it weird or is it weird having some strange woman put her icy cold fingers in my cooch while accidentally calling me Janessa? That's kind of weird. So I went on a bachelorette party recently. Bachelorette parties are weird because you'll spend a bunch of time with 7 girls you don't know to prove to one girl you used to know how much she means to you. And I'm a comedian, but all of my friends have these high-paying jobs like investment banker, entertainment attorney, trophy wife. So when we go on these bachelorette weekends, I'm being forced to keep up with their spending. I'll show up to the airport before the weekend getaway, and I'm sizing up all the girls to see, like, who can I hang with? I'm like, red bottom heels? Too rich for my blood. Chanel purse? No way. Ooh, using a Trader Joe's bag as a carry-on? Hello, new best friend. Oh, just my reflection. You guys have been great. I've been Janelle Draper. Thanks so much.
That was Janelle Draper right there. That's who that was. Yeah, and she did a nice job. You know, you've been looking at me all night introducing people, and it's obvious that I've been doing this a while because I'm as old as I am. And people don't know why I would still do this when this is like the highlight of my career. But every once in a while, I get to introduce people to the stage who is a very good friend of mine and very funny. Please welcome Dave Decker. Give him a nice round of applause.
Hey there. This is the diversity portion of the show. I'm the middle-aged white guy, so that worked out. But where are my cat lovers? Okay, 3 people. Excellent. Yeah, I'm a straight white guy that loves cats. Get over it. I love my cats. I really do. I have 3 cats, and I personally think if you have more than 3 cats, you have both a personal problem and an infestation all rolled into one. And besides, I don't know if anyone has kids here. I have to tell you, having cats, raising cats, hell of a lot easier than children. It really is. A lot cheaper, too. I mean, how far is a cat going to go in life? Community college, tops. I mean, they're just not that motivated. I wanted to see how not motivated my cats were, so I took my Fitbit, strapped it onto one of them. A day later, I checked it out. 23 and a half hours of a flat line, 8 steps, 4 calories. Sign me up for this. This is awesome. My God, these cats are lazy. I came home the other day. I have 3 indoor cats. I come home and there's a live chipmunk running around my house. I'm looking at the cats. I'm looking at the chipmunk. Cats are looking at me like, oh, yeah, about him. We were all sleeping, right? And we woke up and he was just there and he freaked us out with the beady eyes and the weird teeth. Just, can you do something? No problem. This is what the primate did what the feline was built for. I'll get him out of here. I didn't hurt the chipmunk. I like chipmunks. I really do. I have a lot of respect for chipmunks. Squirrels may have nuts, but chipmunks have balls. They really do. I mean, squirrels are this little gray ball of, you know, hesitation. They will step out in front of your car and they'll be like, see you coming. They'll be like, oh my God, do I go forward? Do I go back? Is that the new Buick? Whatever they're thinking, boom, they're gone. Chipmunks commit. Chipmunks will fly out in front of your car at 100 miles an hour like they've just been shot out of a tiny little chipmunk Tony Robbins seminar, you know? I can do anything. Whee! Sometimes, boom, Tony's wrong, but most of them make it. God. A little while ago, we put my mother into an assisted living facility. We told her up front. She just didn't wake up wondering where she was. Would have been kind of funny if you knew my mother. Like, where am I? But now, this place is really nice. I mean, they have 4 levels of nursing care. 1, you know, you're doing pretty good. 4, not so much. And my mother has like 198 things wrong with her. I'd be here all night listing them. And they assessed her only at a level 2. And that scared the crap out of me because I thought, oh my God, I don't want to see what level 3 is going to look like. She had to have run out of diseases by then. And I imagine now level 4 is the Weekend at Bernie's package, where she dies and they take her to breakfast and bingo and still charge us $8,000 a month. I have no idea. But, you know, being in there, being around all those real old people and stuff, and it got me thinking about, like, you know, my own mortality and dying and all that. And here's what I don't want to happen when I die. I don't want people to whisper it. I don't want people to go, do you hear what happened to Dave? Choked on his Cheerios at breakfast. Sad. No, when I go out, I want to be on the front seat of the big roller coaster, hands in the air, screaming at Canopy Lake Park when that thing decides to go off the rails, airborne towards the lake. I want people to go, holy shit, you see what happened to Dave? Oh my God, front seat, hands in the air. Somebody filmed it, hit the middle of the lake. He's on YouTube. He's fucking trending. That's what I want. That's how I want to go out. Thank you. Not here at the Rockwell Theater on a Tuesday night. But, and now, of course, you know, she's in there, and we've got to get rid of the house and all that stuff. And so I go down in my mother's basement. Oh, my God, the crap this woman collected in one. How much used stained Tupperware can one 88-year-old French-Canadian woman hoard from every flea market and yard sale in America? I mean, it's just unbelievable, the shit that was down there. And that got me thinking again, like, how I want to go. I thought, oh, my God, I want to go on a house fire. I really do. I do not want a bunch of people showing up on a given day, and it's not the right day because they all had other plans, and then drawing straws to see who gets the best stuff, and then not talking to each other for 6 months to a year because they didn't get the best stuff, and then checking it out on eBay and Google and trying to find out how much money they can make off it, whether they can profit on my death or not. I don't want them to make 187 trips to Savers, 96 trips to Goodwill. I don't want them to then decide to call the 1-800-JUNK truck because all the other shit that I have doesn't matter. Boom, one match, no heavy lifting, nobody touches your stuff, you're done. And besides, you've now saved yourself $8,000 because you're already cremated. It's a perfect plan. Thank you for laughing at my death. I'm Dave Decker. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Nope, I can't take your microphone. We'll get diseased. Hello. That was backstage stuff you probably shouldn't have heard. We have only 3 more comedians for you. And I know you've been sitting here enjoying the show, but in the back of your mind, you're all thinking, I wonder if this guy can find a new and different way to say that the next person is a good friend of his and very funny. And the answer to that is no. I just said it. So please welcome my next good friend, who is also very funny, Marcia Carroll. Give her a nice round of applause. Marcia,
thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I was looking forward to talking about my issues with food. You guys are, I'm sure, looking forward to listening to it. I think the problem was I started Weight Watchers a little bit too young. Did anyone else's mom sign them up for extracurricular activities? A few other fat teens in the audience, maybe? I don't know. It wasn't that, I mean, okay, so my mom was actually one of the weigh-in ladies at my meeting. So she'd be like, oh, you're down too, I love you. Which is nice, right? It's really nice. To this day, I still have no idea if I want a salad or if I'm just craving my mom's love. There's no way to tell the difference at this point, genuinely. I mean, no, that really wasn't that worst part of the meeting. The worst part was that the other ladies in the meeting didn't accept me at all. They were like in their 30s and 40s, and I was 17, so we just had like fully different goals. You know, like they were, I guess, trying to like lower their insurance premiums or something, and I was just like desperately trying to lose my virginity. I had no idea at the time you could just like have sex while chubby. You can do it. Close your eyes, have fun. Who cares? They don't. The men don't care. No. No, it's really not worth starving yourself for like a slightly more attractive asshole. I can tell you that. It's really, really not. No, things are better now. I'm popular, obviously. You guys heard about I'm best friends with Tony V. I'm one of a select few who's best friends with Tony V. No, yeah, it's really cool. I am popular. Like, all the guys I sleep with want to be friends, which is nice. It's really nice. Yeah, I wish I was getting blown off. I would love to get blown off. I don't need another straight male friend. I don't need it. I don't want it. I can't help how fun I am. Do I look like I want to go to Tyler's house and watch the fight? I really don't. I really just don't want to. I'm not kidding you guys. One guy recently called me a good egg. A good egg. It's so mean. It's also wrong. I'm a bad egg. I'm like a really bad egg. I'm rotten, you guys. They have no idea how rotten I am. I'll take my IUD out. What do I care? What's the worst thing that happens? You have a baby with your best friend? Sounds like a really successful marriage to me. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because like one of these guys would just be like, oh, I don't want our family to get in the way of our friendship. Ridiculous. I actually did get my ID recently, not to trap someone. That would be insane. That was a joke. You guys need to grow up. It's just general maintenance. I got the arm thing instead. And my gynecologist, I'm not kidding you, I was like in the stirrup still, and she was like, okay, so for like the next week, you're gonna need to use like a backup method. And I'm like, she's like, like a condom or the pull-out method. It's a method. I always thought it was like a lie boys in high school told you so that way they could come inside you a little. The method. I was like, you're like a lady doctor. You're a scientist. This isn't a method. Scaring me. Sound like my mom. She wants me to get pregnant so bad. She was like, who cares? Who cares if you don't have anybody? She's like, who cares if you'll never have anyone? No. No. I'm really good at dating now, actually, because of tween magazines. I'm not still reading them, don't be insane. They're just like burned into my brain. How to tell if your crush likes you back, I'll let you know. If you give your crush a snack and they take it, there's a chance that they like you. That's the premise of this article that's in my brain. So that's why I always carry a granola bar in my purse. Just in case I can be like, you're cute. Out of my hands. Sometimes they're hungry, which is annoying. Not just like made of granola bars up here. One time a guy came up to me afterwards and he was like, that would really work on me. It's like, what would work on you? You only take snacks from girls you like back? That's the premise if you were even listening. And he was like, no, I would like a girl if she gave me a snack. But like, this isn't a bribe. I'm not trying to get you to like me with this shitty snack. Plus I could do way better. What do hot guys like? Like kale or ribs? Feel free to yell out if you're a hot guy. Oh, the confidence is low? All right, well, thank you guys so much. I've been Monica.
That was Monica. Give her a nice round of applause. Yeah, I think I might have said Marcia up front. I apologize. That's Monica. I would never make that mistake again. Well, we have come to the penultimate part of the show. That means there's 2 left. Last time I was here, there were 3. Somebody came out, leaving 2. He's right, you're wrong. That's all I'm going to say about that. And it gives me great pleasure to bring this next dear friend of mine to the stage, who also, strangely, happens to be really funny. Please welcome Shelly Coleman.
I'm Shelly, and I'm respectable. Which means that when you first see me, you suddenly can't remember if you've returned your library books or not. And if you haven't, it's not too late. Because if you don't, it will go on your permanent record. I am a straight black woman. I'm sorry to have to announce it like that, but I'm afraid I get asked questions about all 3 of those things. So I like to let that roll out, and then you guys can come up with your own questions, and then we'll be breaking up into small groups for discussion with your teaching assistants after the show. That'll be fun. And if you like, you don't have to, extra credit, brief essay, no more than 5 paragraphs. Straight black woman, which is the hardest to believe and why? Nobody ever chooses that. That's fine, I grade on a curve. All right, so of those 3 things, the one that blows my mind is when I am mistaken for a man. And it happens. I went to a hairdresser one time, and she said, Shelly, you should let your hair grow. It would make you look womanly. Seriously? That's what it's gonna take? So the D in 42D stands for what, dude? Is that how it works? I know there's 2 D's in dude. Don't worry, I got it covered. But it's got to be the hair. I mean, it happens anytime, any. I was in Toronto one time. You guys ever been to Toronto? What, a couple of you, and the rest of you have heard of Toronto? Have you heard of Canada? Oh my God, do you know where you are now? All right, so let me set the scene for you. It was a clear night, good visibility, no cloud cover, well-lit street. So it wasn't a trick of the light. And it was Canada, but they do have women there. I've seen them, various shapes and sizes, all clearly identifiable as women, so it wasn't a cultural misunderstanding. And I was going to a party, okay? So I'm in a V-neck top. Let me say that again. I'm in a V-neck top, dangly earrings, makeup, the whole thing. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't my disguise. This man walks up to me, looks me dead in my face and says, "Excuse me, sir?" And then he had the temerity to ask me for money. Now, he was polite, but it was Canada, and that's the law. So I just said, "No, I'm saving for a sex change operation." I didn't say that. I wanted to, but I didn't. I just said no, and then I kicked his ass in a very feminine way. It was lots of pinkies and things. I really think it's got to be the hair. I think I could walk down any street, anywhere, in like a giant hoop skirt, you know? Lady Gaga eyelashes. Breastfeeding topless. And if my hair is short, it's going to be, sir? What are you doing to that baby? It's got to be the hair, right? Although, honestly, it does happen on the phone every once in all the time. I have kind of a low-pitched voice for a woman, I understand that. I get it, but I don't like it. I'm tired of being called sir and Mr. Coleman on the phone all the time, and not just by my family. So I decided I'm going to change it up. Now, this past summer, my air conditioner broke down, and I'm telling you, you do not want me to be without air conditioning. Remember Hurricane Sandy? Yeah? Remember the floods and the surges and all the trouble FEMA was having, right? You guys, when I start sweating, the hell with FEMA, Noah couldn't handle it, all right? So I had to get my air conditioner fixed. Now, in the past, I would have called the repair company. I would have said, "Hi, my name is Shelly Coleman. I need a service call." But I thought, that's too butch. So what I did instead, I called the repair company and I said, "Hi, my name is Shelly Colman, and my air conditioner is making a really funny noise. Could you send them in to fix it, please?" The woman on the phone could not have been nicer. She said, "Sure, Mr. Coleman, no problem, sir." It's not the hair, you guys. Thanks very much.
That was Shelly. Give her a nice round of applause, Shelly Carroll. Very nice. And now you're saying to yourself, there's something strangely different about him. I don't have my paper. And you know why? Because this next guy is a really good friend of mine, and he's super funny. Please welcome Steve Bjork, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Bjork.
Tony, I'll see you at home. Very nice to see all you guys. Looks like we were kind of optimistic when we set up the chairs. It's good to see you. I hope you all had a nice pandemic. Did you have a nice pandemic? I did not. I'm a single dad with 4 kids. It was, yes, exactly. It was brutal, especially a lockdown. Lockdown with 4 kids. There was one day I just had to have some alone time, some quiet. I brought him down to the playroom. I set up the Lion King. I went upstairs, was having my coffee, enjoying some peace and quiet, and all of a sudden time got away from me. I realized 3 hours had gone by. I didn't hear a peep. If you're a parent, you know that's not good. Went down to check on him. I screwed up. I didn't set up the Lion King. I'd set up the Tiger King. They had some difficult questions. They're all convinced that Carol killed her husband, though, so I'm proud of them for that. This has been rough, this last 18 months, especially the lockdown, because it happened so early. And everybody was so scared. We didn't know where things were going to go, how it was going to play out. All my friends at the time, they're like, I can't even listen to the news, it's too depressing. But yeah, for the most part, I found that to be true. But I found the traffic reports to be very uplifting, at least for a while. Then they just got annoying. I don't know if you listen to WBZ. It's a news station. They do a traffic report every 10 minutes, 24 hours a day. And during that lockdown, they were committed. And I felt bad for the helicopter guy. He's going to places he's never gone to. He's reporting on shit he's never reported on. Every 10 minutes, like, all right, Kevin, we're going to go up to Kevin up in the helicopter. Kevin, how the roadways looking? Well, Laurie, I'll tell you, we got a couple trouble spots to report on. We have a 2-car backup on Route 9 in Wellesley. There's a family of ducks crossing the road. They are really taking their sweet time. You may want to avoid that area. That may not be clear for a while. We have a disabled vehicle on Sullivan Road in Billerica. True, that is a dead end, but if you live in one of the 3 houses on the other side of that vehicle, you're going to have a tough time getting home. And Laurie, let's be frank about this. My job became obsolete as soon as they invented smartphones, but I got 300 payments left on this helicopter, so I'm going to be out here every 10 minutes till the bitter end. All right, thanks, Kevin. We'll check back with you in 10. I mentioned I'm a single dad. I haven't always been a single dad. I was married for 22 years. Then we split up. No bad guy. We just grew apart. A minimum of 100 yards. I try to remember the good times. I still remember the first date I ever took her on. It was the fall, and I took her apple picking. Actually, it wasn't far from here. It was at the Shaw's. And, yeah, it's very romantic. They don't want you to climb. Whatever. But now I'm single. I'm obviously not prepared. I have to lose this COVID weight. But I will say this, even when I'm in great shape, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", I have big shoulders, big hands. I don't even have a small intestine. They're both huge. I don't know, I have no idea how to be single. I don't know what I'm supposed to shave. That wasn't a thing my first time around. And you know what? I don't have anything to offer. Let's be frank, this is a visual medium, you know that. Let's look at my dating resume. I have 4 little kids. I drive a 2018 Dodge Caravan, ladies. That's right, I just had it painted to look like an Amazon truck, by the way. Yeah, now I can park anywhere I want, nobody cares. You ever notice that? Nobody cares, they drive around. Oh, triple park, that's okay. He's delivering happiness. So I got the kids, I got the van. And I have sleep apnea. Now, if you're not familiar with sleep apnea, let me explain. Sleep apnea is the laziest disease in the history of humankind. Here's what happens. At night, I go to sleep, my throat just closes up, won't let any oxygen through, it just stops working. Yeah, so in other words, it's not even so much a disease as it is a labor dispute. The brain is management. He's trying to talk him into it. Come on, the lungs are trying, the heart's beating, the bladder's working overtime, for Christ's sake. And the throat's like, I ain't working the night shift. Most diseases are tragic. Sleep apnea is just demeaning. I mean, seriously, I used to be an athlete. I still have friends who run marathons. I have a couple of friends who do triathlons. Me, I have a soft mattress and a My Pillow. Can't make it through the night without medical assistance. For some reason now, I lay down. As soon as I lay down, I have the breathing capacity of a pug. So in order to survive this horrendous disease, I have this little box. It's about this big. And attached to that is 6 feet of sausage casing. And then at the other end of that is a mask. And the mask literally straps onto my face. So basically, it looks like that alien from the movie Alien. And I hit the button, it just goes. So I can't wait to introduce that into a new relationship. Sure, I'd love to spend the night. Hey, I was thinking we might play jet fighter pilot tonight. And then tomorrow, I'd like to take you apple picking. You guys have been a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest. Oh, that's it.
Nice job, Steve Bjork. Steve Bjork, ladies and gentlemen. And that concludes the contest portion of the evening. Thank you very much for being so supportive to everybody. And now what's going to happen is You won't know this is happening because it'll be done silently in another room. But they will, we have judges, and then they will get some numbers, and then people will move on to the semifinals, which I think are in this room, so you could stay. Just stay where you are. They'll never know you're down here. I won't tell anyone. I'll say, no, when I left, there was no one. And I know you'd like to hear way more from me, but I can't. I'm spent. And so I'm going to leave you in some very capable hands. And I don't have to say this is a good friend of mine and she's very funny, although all of those things are true. And it's she's a really good friend of mine. Not a great poker player, but very funny. As a matter of fact, she was supposed to be this Saturday at the Boston Garden doing Comics Come Home. And they had to cancel it because of this fucking stupid thing. Yeah, whatever it is. I love that guy. There's something going on, but they canceled it, so she can't. And now she's doing a fundraiser. Some stupid Boy Scouts or some fucking stupid thing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, she is very, very funny and a dear friend of mine, and you're really going to enjoy her. Would you please welcome Ms. Carolyn Plummer? Give her a Carolyn Plummer.
They turned your mic off.
What? I wasn't going that long.
Tony V, everyone. Give it up for Tony V. He's a great human being. Yeah, I was supposed to be at the Garden at Comics Come Home. It's all right. I'm doing it next year. It's just delayed by another fucking year. I am psyched to be here. I don't have the best luck in the world, to be honest. The last thing I won before Comics Come Home was Grateful Dead tickets. And Jerry Garcia died 2 weeks later. Sorry. Bad luck. I live here in Watertown area. Yeah, they were on the news recently during Halloween. I don't know if you saw this on the news, but they said we have a rat problem since the pandemic. Gross. And they said if you're decorating for Halloween and putting out pumpkins, bring them in at night or display them over 6 feet high because rats can jump 6 feet. Pan back to the newscasters with this look on their face. One of them goes, is anyone else terrified by that? Yeah, I am. I live in Watertown. So be careful of the rats, I guess. I don't know. The news is weird. The pandemic's weird. I hope we're coming out of it. I really do. Because I'm sick of it. And if you were one of those people that excelled during the pandemic, do you know these people? Keep it to yourself. Do you know these people? They're like, I learned 7 languages. I really took time to do a bunch of things for myself. I learned how to crochet. I have 100 blankets. Do you want one? How about you go fuck yourself, Becky? How about that? Right? I have IKEA furniture I couldn't find time to put together during the lockdown. It's a couple things I'd keep, to be honest. I'd keep this 6 feet away from me at the grocery store. I would. I don't know why we didn't have that before. Because sometimes you want to pick out an avocado you're going to eat that week, and sometimes you're going to wait. And I don't need someone up my ass while I'm trying to figure that out. I have to touch them. Remember we were wiping everything down with Lysol at the beginning of the pandemic? Like lettuce and shit? And people were like, why does this salad taste weird? Because I wiped it off with too much Lysol. Just eat it. I'd keep contactless delivery. I don't know why we didn't have that before. I don't need to have a relationship with the guy delivering my pizza. I don't need to know when you put it in the oven. I don't need to know that it's cooked. I don't need to know that you're lost in my neighborhood trying to find my apartment. I need to know that. Put it on the stoop and screw. So I'm fine with that. I don't know. You guys are electric. Just kidding. I went to college where I majored in alcoholism. Yeah, I had a .36 average. I had a lot of stupid friends in college. I thought I'd have all these smart friends, but it doesn't work that way. There's one friend, if we went out drinking and he saw a beautiful woman, he wouldn't say, oh, look at her, she's pretty. Look at her, she's hot, she's beautiful. I can appreciate statements like that. But no, he'd always say something stupid. Like, oh my God, dude, look at that chick over there. I'm so making a movie in my head right now. I said, you're making a movie in your head right now? And he said, oh God, yeah, I am. So I said, am I in it? And he said, oh crap, now you are. Stupid front. I drank a lot in college. I can't drink like that anymore because I kept waking up and feeling like a game show contestant. I don't know if you guys have ever played this game. Maybe you're going to play it tonight. It's none of my business. It's called Guess That Ceiling. It's when you wake up and go, oh shit, I don't have bunk beds. Parties are fun when you're in school. You bring a bag of chips, case of beer, set for the night, right? Forget the chips. Just bring the beer. Beer was the most important thing. It's different when you get out of school and you get invited to a party, because now you have to bring a dish and a gift, and it's a baby shower. Because now you celebrate when your friends get pregnant, not the other way around. No one told me the difference. First baby shower I went to after college, I showed up with a bag of Doritos and a case of beer. So now I'm in the back of the room. I'm trying to be excited for her. I really am, but I'm 15, 18 beers deep back there. I'm in the back of that room going, woohoo, all right. What is that, a diaper genie? Here's a question you don't want to ask at a baby shower. Does anyone know who the father is? Don't ask that. And now, after someone has a kid, the new hipster thing is to teach your kid baby sign language. You guys probably know this. I didn't. Went to breakfast with one of my friends. The whole time we're sitting there, this kid is at the end of the table. I'm there with my friend, her kid, my other friend. He's at the end of the table, and he's going like this. So I'm thinking what some of you are thinking, but you're way too polite to ask, the hell is wrong with this kid? You can't say stuff like that. I don't think you ever could, but you can't say it now. So she took him to the bathroom. I leaned over to my other friend. I said, tell me quick, what's wrong with her kid? She said, hello. There's nothing wrong with her kid. What's wrong with you? He's using baby sign language, and he wants more. I said, oh, well, why doesn't he ask? He's 10. You can't say that either, just, you know. So I'm single. I know, shocker after that joke. That's true, I'm single. I'm the last one in my group that's single, too. All my friends are married or in relationships. So if we go out, I'm the only one that could potentially go home with someone else, potentially. And when you're a young man and you're not in a relationship or married, you have a wingman. You have a friend that will help you hook up. I think that's awesome. It's not the same for women. I don't care what you say. There's a reason why you've never heard of a wing lady or a wing woman or a wing ma'am, because it doesn't exist. You see a cute guy you want to take home for the night, you don't get help from your girlfriends. You get unsolicited advice, and it happens really fast. You're like, hey, that guy's pretty cute. You're making a mistake. That's what I was thinking of doing tonight, making a mistake. You're going to regret it in the morning. That's what I was thinking of doing tonight, making a mistake I might regret in the morning. He's never going to call you. Well, that's what I was thinking of doing tonight, making a mistake I might regret in the morning. I don't care if he ever calls me again. Besides, he can't call me anyway. I didn't give him my number. I gave him yours. My friends took it a step further, and they told me this. They're like, Carolyn, we talked about it. That's never good when your friends say that. They're like, we talked about it. We know where you should go to meet a man because we talked about it. Yeah, you should go to Home Depot. That's where you're going to meet a man, Home Depot. So I went to Home Depot. I figured, why not? I met a ton of men at Home Depot who thought I worked there. Asking me how much the mulch is. Can you direct me to the plumbing supplies? Hey, can you help me bring this lumber out to my car? Yeah, I found out I'm strong. Not wearing an apron, you dick. I don't know. I tried everything. I tried the online dating. I did not have a lot of success online. I may have been on the wrong website. I was on matchyouvithaserialkiller.com, I think it might have been called. I met this guy online. He said, on our first date, I'm going to do magic tricks for you. Yeah, that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. I'm a comedian. I was talking to this other guy online. I said, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just home reading a book wearing pantyhose. Yeah, that's a true story. So I asked him the next logical question, what book are you reading? So I like to read. That was in my profile. I don't recall anything about pantyhose in yours. But I did meet this one guy. He seemed pretty cool. So we went to lunch, and I walked in. I looked at him like, oh, this may have been a mistake. And he was looking at me like he was trying to figure out how much chloroform it would take to get me in the back of his van. He miscalculated. So it's good to be here. These are jokes. I just want to point that out. That didn't really happen. Don't get nervous. No, we wouldn't be laughing at that because that's not funny. That's just how you feel when you're online dating. So we're at lunch, and I asked him, he was going through some change in his life. He was living in his parents' basement. He's working as a substitute teacher. He was in a band. And I was fine with all of that. I really was. And because we all go through change. Who am I to judge, right? So I said, what's your plan? He said, my plan? Just like that. And I said, yeah, what's your plan? He goes, well, my grandmother's about to die. What? If you start a sentence with, my grandmother's about to die, it doesn't matter what comes after that. So he said, my grandmother's about to die, and she's going to leave me some money, and I'm going to buy a house. I said, oh, that's your plan? He said, yep. So I called the waiter over. I got the food to go. I paid the bill. And on the way out the door, he said, can I call you? I said, fucking no. I said, but I do want your grandmother's number because I think she needs to know about your plan. So I'm still single. And I'm okay with it. The other reason I'm single is because I'm not smooth when it comes to sex. I know what you're thinking. She looks like she'd be really smooth when it comes to sex. This seems like a safe place to talk about it. The basement of this weird place. I will say this without going into detail. I know what I'm doing. It's like riding a bike. Different sized bikes at different times in your life. But I think I should take up chewing gum, smoking, something so I can't talk right after. Because these are some of the things I've said. Wow, that was really nice. Thank you. That was different. Where did you learn that? And my personal favorite, well done, sir. Well done. Idiot. I live here, like I said, in Watertown. When I first moved down here, I lived in Maine before I moved here. When I first moved down here, I joined a new gym. And the name of my new gym was stupid. The name of my new gym was Gymit. 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 Are you a fan of Gymit? Yeah, right? It's a horrible name for a gym, is my point. And I was finally okay with the name of the gym until they started renaming all the classes, and they got all cutesy with it, and they were like, tread it, lift it, kick it, box it, row it. I said, you know what? Most of the time I can't find a parking spot here, and I just say, fuck it. It's a perfect name for a gym. I quit Gymit. I can't go there anymore. Gymit. Fucking stupid. My friends told me this the other day. One of our acquaintances is doing chakra dancing. I don't even know what that is, but if you're doing chakra dancing and you're not doing it as Chakra Khan, you're not doing it right. That joke was for that one person. Because you're like, Chakra Khan, who is that? If you know, you would laugh. I like to do at least one joke that I know only one person's gonna get. Like this one, you'll hate this one. So, you know how you have all those people that did well during the pandemic? I did one thing during the pandemic. I started growing sprouts. Yeah, not very exciting, right? I thought it was. And I was telling my friends about it, and I was like, yeah, I started growing sprouts. It's not that hard. And they're like, what are you growing? I'm like, fenugreek. And they're like, you know that's what they give women when they can't lactate, right? So now I'm growing mung beans. I think they have the results, so I'm going to give this back to Tony V.
I think mung beans is a thing people don't want to talk about. Only in the privacy of their own home. You know, if you're gonna touch touchy subjects like that, you gotta expect people to recoil a little bit. You just can't come out here and throw away around fucking mung beans and expect people to go, oh yeah. That's a very personal thing. Jesus. How about a nice round of applause for my pal, Carol and Plummer. So now what's gonna happen, the second half of the show, not gonna happen. 6 people are gonna move on to the semifinals. A round of applause for our judges, please. You were wondering why maybe you didn't get a clipboard. We're very particular about who we give clipboards to. They've been all drug tested and COVID tested, and that's it. Anyway, so, but 6 people are going to move on to the semifinals? Yes, he said. Yes, and I'm going to introduce them. You're going to applaud, and it's no particular order. These are just the people that are going to move on. But how about a nice round of applause for everybody who performed and made such a nice, you know, we were talking about it backstage. It's fucking Tuesday, and this is going on. Yeah, that hasn't happened in a while, so we're very happy about that. So in no particular order, these are the people who will be moving on to the semifinals. Would you please welcome back to the stage Bryan McKenna. Bryan McKenna. There you are. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Nice choice of shirt. Katlin McFee. Katlin, are you among us? Hello there, how are you? Hi. Gary Peterson, yeah. Gary Peterson, nice job. Nice, he's different, he came out the other way. Monica Carroll, Marcia's sister. Marcia's sister, Monica, identical twins, oddly enough. That's weird, they're wearing the same outfit. Shelly Coleman. Shelly? Nice job, Shelly. And Steve Bjork will be moving on. Steve Bjork. So these are the folks that are moving on to the semifinals. And that's Jim McHugh, who started this whole thing, and that's all I got. Okay, goodbye. God bless you. We'll see you again. Enjoy. Congratulations, everybody.